And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at the newest expansion for Mage Wars, Forged in Fire. It's no secret that I'm a huge fan of Mage Wars. I like it quite a bit. I'm always excited to see new expansions. This one adds 2 new mages, although they are basically reskinnings of current ones, a warlock and a warlord. But it's easy to mix those up, just a 2-letter difference there. But we already have, there was a warlock in the original set and a warlord came out earlier. But it also includes a whole pile of cards. So no new mage per se, but these mages do things differently. And there's a lot of cool cards in here. Let me show you. Okay, first we have the new Warlock, and I wanted to bring out the original Warlock from the original game, and so that you could compare them side to side to see how they look. Their pictures, okay, yeah, they're male, female. But let's take a closer look at their stats here. You can see the original guy had more hit points, and other than that, their stats are pretty similar, and the schools that they're trained in are the same. They both don't like holy spells. What this new Warlock has is a pretty cool idea. I like the Blood Reaper from the original guy. Make one of you guys a Blood Reaper. And he also has a much cooler attack. She has a very weak attack, although it can cause someone to burn. But that whole burn thing is her thing, and we'll be talking about that through this set. Is here, she can target someone who is burning, and she can move burn conditions from one person to the other. And all the enemy creatures get flame +1 if they have a curse that you control attached to them. And there's curses here involved with this. And if friendly demons attack someone with a burn, they heal 1 damage. Now, this doesn't seem like it's that powerful, but what it allows you to do is to make a really cool deck. She's not like powerful out the gate, but if you use a deck, and there's a lot of cards in this set that help with the burning, she is very useful in that regard. Now we have the new Warlord here, who's a dwarf. Of course, it's good to have a dwarf since there's already a decent amount of dwarfs in the game, as opposed to this big giant orc warlord. I think this will be fun to see warlord versus warlord. And you can see here that again their stats are very similar. The original warlord had 2 more hit points. Their weapon is essentially the same. They have battle orders which are somewhat different. So the original one gave you charge, range, melee, and armor. This one gives you armor and toughness, or speed, or piercing +2. But the veterans from the original one, while that one was cool, the runesmithing on this one is a really cool idea. Basically, you can place these runes that you have, and you have all different runes. This one here, pay -1 mana, piercing +1, armor +1. You can place these by paying a mana, and you can assign it to your equipment when you play it. And if someone's going to destroy that equipment, you can prevent it unless they pay 2 more mana. And each rune can only be assigned once per game, but still, this means this is a guy who you want to take, and I love equipment. I love putting equipment on people. So this guy has quickly moved up to become one of my favorite of the mages in the game so far. Speaking of equipment, here we go. Talking about the Warlock with the burn. Demons get melee +1 when attacking an object with a burn condition. Of course, our dwarf, or I guess even the other Warlock, needs their hammer, where you can pay 1 less when you have a spawn point or a familiar that you control casts an equipment spell. So again, help you put out more equipment. The Morning Star, of course, is just a great thing. It's unavoidable, unless, of course, you're the daughter of one of the kings. I like this one a lot here, +2 armor, but spells and enchantments that target this mage cost 2 extra. So it's good against spells. Here's 1 less when you do a soldier, so some more help for the equipment. And then another thing with burn. At the end of this phase, they can pay 2 mana to place a burn condition. So, and at least 1 revealed curse you control attached to it. So, but still, it's a good way to get more burn tokens. All right, creatures. That's why, I mean, even if you don't want the 2 mages in this set, do you want some more of the creatures? Well, here you have a teleporting imp. A very cheap, I think, but decent defender. This is kind of a red shirt type dude, but can be very useful in battle. someone who's not so worried about the flames and looks like they escaped from the Aliens movie. I like this one a lot. The Goblin Alchemist has 3 different things he can throw. One that causes flame, one that causes poison, and one that causes corrode. Very neat. The Orc Sergeant here, who can cast a few spells of his own, and also has a pretty decent weapon there, cause the enemy to bleed. Crossbowman. Of course, you want to get more dwarfs in your army, so here's another dwarf here too, who he can do different things. He can place an armor token or reconstruct 2 damage. He basically can fix things, so that's nice, and also a decent guy to throw out there. An Imp Familiar, who can cast small fire spells. A Blood Demon, looks pretty nasty, and they're bloodthirsty. Minotaur. Now, I love the Minotaurs. This was actually in one of the Dice Tower promo packs. Very fun, charging and tough. And then Cerberus, or however you pronounce his name, I really like him. If you get him in the right spot with a dark conjuration, he has the triple strike. With piercing +1, a very neat one. But look at this one here. Nasty Sardonyx here. Look at that crushing jaw. He has a sweeping tail. He has poison breath. Of course, you lose 2 life just for controlling him. But is that worth it? Survey says yes. Then we got a couple attack spells. We have the Hurl Rock, which is, besides a hilarious picture, it makes me laugh, is a pretty decent attack here to throw at somebody. And then a Devil's Trident, which is like half fire, half attack. But since it can cause burn, of course you're going to put this in the deck with the new Warlock. And then we have a whole bunch of cool things. I like Conquer. The War Mage is able to use this to basically conquer a faraway thing. Here's another way to give someone a burn condition, Ignite. Or here you can remove burns from a target, and it will make an attack to that target. Double the number of burn tokens on it. Flank Attack. This one I like a lot. Disarm. You're going to see this, I think, in a lot of decks because it's cheap. It's easy to cast. It's a novice spell, but basically you can get rid of you put a disable token on somebody's weapon. Now, that disable token only knocks it out for 1 round, but still, sometimes that can be a big deal. You rush up to an enemy mage who has a powerful hammer or something, and you can disable it very quickly. And this one I also like quite a bit, Defend. Defend allows you to make anybody a defender, and this is another one I think you're going to see in a lot of the different sets. Then we have lots of new enchantments. Lion Savagery. Brace Yourself is cool because it gives you armor +4, but it only lasts for 1 round. And Kiro's Favor. And then there's, like I said, there's curses in this deck to help out, of course, I think the Warlock. Gives someone armor -2. Do damage to them for each enchantment they have on them. Make someone fumble when they attack you. When someone's trying to get rid of burn, you can pay mana to keep them from getting rid of that. We now also have the Wall of Earth. Another wall. I'm not a big wall person, but I'm all for having as many different types of walls in the deck as possible. Rolling Fog, which can be thematic, and this Monolith, which keeps people from having too many enchantments bugging you. The Armory, the Altar of Carnage, a Construction Yard. And then my favorite new thing here for the zones is this Altar of Domination for the Warlord. And I think I'd put this in every Warlord deck I have. Basically, if you have several outposts, which you want to do, you can put a token on this. Once you get 4 tokens, you can then, for free, cast Talos. This guy is rocking. He's unstoppable, burn-proof, psychic immunity, and he has a really powerful weapon, 6 with reach and piercing +2. He has 5 armor, and the only way to bring him into play is to do the Altar of Domination, but it's so worth it. And if you see your opponent build an Altar of Domination, this is where you run over and destroy it, because once this guy comes on the table, he is going to rock the world. Now, if you don't like the Warlock or the Warlord, I think you should pass the set by. There's some cool things in here, but maybe you could trade someone who does buy it, because it does come with multiples of the different characters, and get a few of those characters for your deck. But this is really about those 2 mages. This is, I mean, I would say there's a lot in here for both of those. A lot of Warlock and Warlord specific cards. And I've heard through the grapevine that many people find that the Warlord is one of the weaker classes. I don't know, because I lose with all the classes fairly consistently. I've always liked the Warlord. I've always liked the idea of having a lot of creatures on the board. Having a Dwarf Warlord is pretty cool too. And So I like that guy, to be able to bring him out and play them, and hopefully this makes them more powerful, I guess, for competitive play. The Warlock is probably my least favorite mage. No, that's the Druid. But, I mean, I don't mind using it. She's not so bad, but you have to be very specific how you make a deck. And that's my only concern with her, is I feel more constrained. It's all about burning. You know, I can't do as much cool stuff. I really got to concentrate on burning, because if not, I might as well use the other Warlock. But oh man, the cards in here are cool. Love the Giant Skeleton Dragon, love Minotaurs, of course, the defending stuff, some of the new key novice spells, and man, that statue coming to life, I can just see that as it comes off the pedestal and attacks people. So this is neat. Is it essential? No, it is not. If you're a big fan of Mage Wars and you want to get everything, then you're only watching this review to find out what's in the set anyway, because you're going to get this. But for those of you who like Mage Wars on a casual level, if you don't have a Warlord, then this is a cool one to get and gives you a lot of stuff to make a neat Warlord deck. If you, like I said, if you're not interested in either of these two types of mages, then I'd pass this by and go for the next one. But for me, it was very fun, very cool, and a lot of neat cards here.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.